If you are watching this right now, it is because someone from your past has just thought of you. It could be an ex-flame, an old love, someone from your family who drifted away, or that person who departed before their time. You felt it, didn't you? That strange tightness in your chest over the last few days, that name that popped into your head out of nowhere, that confusing dream you can't seem to forget. Calm down. It is not a coincidence, and it is not your mind playing tricks on you. It is a direct signal coming from the fourth dimension, where nothing is lost, where every planted emotion eventually returns to bloom. The Almighty is alerting you. There is a bridge of incidents being built between you and this person at this very moment. And what will happen in the coming days depends entirely on the state of consciousness you find yourself in now. Therefore, before you close this video, listen carefully, because you are about to discover the silent error that is causing this bridge to be built in the wrong way, and how to reverse it still today before it is too late. First of all, I need you to take a deep breath, because what I'm about to tell you is not a theory, it is not cheap mysticism, and it is not an empty promise. It is one of the deepest laws of the universe, taught by William Walker Atkinson nearly a century ago, supported by modern quantum physics, and confirmed by the scriptures since the first page of the Bible. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you feel you already are. And when someone from your past thinks of you with intensity, that thought does not stay trapped in that person's head. It travels. It crosses space, it crosses time, it crosses silence, and it knocks on your inner door like a gentle warning, like a touch on your spiritual shoulder. The problem is that most people ignore this touch. They trade it for noise, they trade it for distraction, they trade it for doubt, and when they finally realize it, the bridge has already been built, but built upon fear, anger, wounded longing, and the resentment that seemed dormant. And the reunion comes. But it comes in the worst possible way. It comes to repeat the cycle, not to end it. And now I need to tell you something that might give you chills. You did not come across this video by chance. Perhaps you don't even remember how you landed here. You clicked without thinking. The video appeared on its own. Someone sent it to you. But it was not the algorithm, it was a calling. You are being led to a truth that many spend their whole lives without discovering. And this truth carries responsibility. If you are here, it is because you were chosen to protect someone, your family, your children, your home, your lineage, in view of what is to come. When the Almighty warns, He does not ask for permission. He plants the sign on your path and expects you to recognize it. That is why I have prepared a powerful digital book for you. The book is titled, How to Know If the Almighty Will Save You on Judgment Day. And inside it there is a complete spiritual map with signs, alerts, and practices that hundreds of brothers have already used to identify where they are on the journey of the Almighty and what to do to ensure the salvation of their family. The link is right there in the description of this video and pinned at the top of the comments. Go there now before this content is taken off the air, because truths like these are unsettling, and not everyone wants you to see them. If you feel at this instant that the Almighty is speaking directly to you, type Amen in the comments. This Amen is your decree of acceptance. Stay here with me, because what comes next changes everything. Now pay close attention. There is a concept that William Walker Atkinson called the bridge of incidents. It is the invisible path that the universe builds to deliver what you are living within yourself. Every manifestation, be it a person, healing, money, or reconciliation, requires a bridge. And this bridge is made of seemingly random events, an unexpected call, a message on social media, a mutual friend mentioning her name, a song on the radio that leaves you paralyzed, a dream so real you wake up crying. Each of these events is a plank being laid upon the bridge. But take heed. The bridge is constructed by the dominant emotion that dwells within you. If the emotion that fills your chest when thinking of this person is bitterness, the bridge will bring more bitterness. If the emotion is desperate longing, it will bring more absence. But if you occupy the state of consciousness of reconciliation already realized, of forgiveness already granted, of peace already restored, the bridge changes direction. And then the reunion happens exactly as it should have been from the beginning. Here is the silent error that cancels out almost every manifestation in the states. People ask for one thing with their mouths, but feel another. They ask for reconciliation, but feel hatred. They ask for love, but feel abandonment. And the universe, which does not listen to words, always responds to the feeling. Feeling is the secret. It always has been. That is why, before we go on, I want you to take an internal pause. Think of this person from your past and observe what you feel. Not what you want to feel, what you truly feel. Because that feeling at this exact moment is what is being sent back to her. It is being delivered inside her chest in the form of restlessness, longing, and the impulse to send a message. And that is why she is thinking of you right now. And in the midst of this pause, I ask you a direct question. Do you feel that this message arrived at the exact right moment? It wasn't a day early. It wasn't a day late. It was today. This has a name, it has a purpose, and it has urgency. The book, How to Know If the Almighty Will Save You on Judgment Day, is waiting for you in the link in the description and pinned at the top of the comments. Do not leave it for later. When the Almighty calls twice, He will not call a third time. Let's go deeper now. I want you to understand exactly what is happening when someone from your past thinks of you. Modern science has discovered something that mystics knew for centuries. The human heart generates a measurable electromagnetic field, which extends for meters around the body. This field, according to the HeartMath Institute in the United Kingdom, is much stronger than the field generated by the brain, and it carries information, emotional information. When you feel something intensely, joy, pain, forgiveness, resentment, this field reorganizes, and the information is literally radiated into the surrounding environment. But here is the point that will break you. This field is not limited by physical space. It connects on subtle levels to every heart with whom you have had a deep emotional bond. Child, mother, father, brother, ex-partner, childhood friend. The person can be on the other side of the states, on the other side of the world, or even on the other side of the veil of life. The bond remains active. And when you feel, she feels. When she thinks of you, you respond within your chest. This is not poetry. This is the fourth dimension manifesting within the third. Now combine this scientific discovery with the law of assumption that William Walker Atkinson taught, and you have the complete secret. That which you assume to be true within you, with real feeling, with daily persistence, becomes the information that your field radiates. And this information reaches the other person as a silent call. They cannot explain why they are thinking of you. They only feel it. They feel that they need to seek you out. They feel that they need to apologize. They feel that they need to return. But take heed, if what you are assuming within you is the state of a victim, of the abandoned, of the wronged, that is what will reach the other person. And they will feel a weight, a guilt, an annoyance, and they will flee even further. This is the fatal error that destroys manifestations all across the states. People trying to manifest love while feeling rejected, trying to manifest money while feeling poor, trying to manifest healing while feeling sick. The feeling always defeats the word, always. That is why the key to everything lies in a phrase that appears from the first to the last page of the Bible, I am. When Moses asked for the name of the Almighty, the answer was, I am that I am. And William Walker Atkinson explained, the I am is your consciousness. It is what comes after the words I am that defines your life. If you say, I am forgotten, you attract oblivion. If you say, I am abandoned, you attract abandonment. If you say, I am loved, reunited, forgiven, restored, you reorganize your field, rewrite your subconscious program, and the bridge of incidents begins to be built in the right direction. Now comes the practical part, because I do not want you to leave here with only theory. I want you to leave here knowing what to do tonight, even in these early hours, to begin reversing what has been built incorrectly. There is a sacred moment in the day when the subconscious is completely open. The ancients called it the state of gestation. It is the moment between waking and sleeping, those precious minutes in which your mind is loose, light, without barriers. Napoleon Hill taught that this is the moment when the Almighty listens with the greatest clarity, because the rational mind finally goes silent. And it was exactly in this moment that ordinary people, throughout the centuries, changed entire destinies. They brought back marriages, cured diseases, restored families, turned the financial tide. All starting from 5 to 10 minutes of conscious inner dialogue before falling asleep. And you will learn exactly how to do this in a few seconds. But first, I need to give you one more level of this truth, because understanding the technique is one thing, applying it with persistence is another. And that is where most give up. 3 days, 5 days, a week, and the person quits because they didn't see results. But the universe does not work on the timeline of impatience. It works on the timeline of conviction. And conviction is built with repetition, with patience, with faith that does not waver in the face of appearances. William Walker Atkinson used to say, "To believe is to look at what is not yet seen and treat it as if it already were." This is the law of assumption in its purest form, and it is exactly here that the most delicate part of your journey begins. Stop for a moment. Do you feel that weight in your chest right now? That mixture of hope and fear, of faith and doubt, of a desire to believe but a fear of being disappointed again? That is your subconscious reacting. It perceives that something inside you wants to change, and it is trying to pull you back to the old ways. And this internal struggle is the clearest sign that you are on the right path. But I must warn you, few cross this phase alone. Most give up when doubt strikes. And that is why I have prepared something profound, something built to sustain you on this crossing. That is why I prepared this powerful digital book for you. The book, How to Know If the Almighty Will Save You on Judgment Day, is not just a book about the end times. It is a manual of spiritual discernment. You will learn to identify the 7 signs that the Almighty sends to the chosen ones, to recognize who in your family needs your prayer more than you imagine, and what to do so that this alarm you are experiencing now transforms into real protection for your loved ones. Hundreds of brothers have written to me telling how they restored marriages, how they ended years of fighting with parents and children, how they felt the real presence of the Almighty for the first time after applying what is in there. The link is in the description and pinned at the top of the comments. This video could be taken down at any moment. Truths like these attract spiritual attack. Go there now. And if you feel this message is for you, write in the comments, "I accept the call." Stay with me because now I am going to teach you the exact technique. The technique is called state akin to sleep. It is simple in method, but devastatingly powerful in results. You will only need 5 minutes lying in your bed at night before falling into deep sleep. No candle needed, no incense needed, no white clothes needed. You only need yourself, your heart, and the willingness to dive into a single feeling. The steps are these, and I want you to treasure them, because this technique is worth its weight in gold. First, close your eyes. Breathe deeply 3 times, slowly. Feel the air entering and leaving. Feel the weight of your body sinking into the mattress. Allow your body to rest, but keep your consciousness alight. Second, bring a scene to mind. A single scene. It doesn't need to be long, it needs to be specific. Imagine, for example, the phone ringing and that person's name appearing on the screen. Imagine yourself answering and hearing their voice, calm, respectful, saying what you have waited to hear for years. Or imagine the two of you sitting in silence, side by side, in peace, after everything has been resolved. Choose the scene that would make you feel fulfilled if it happened in real life. Third, and this is the point that changes everything, feel it. Do not think. Feel. Feel what you would feel if this scene had already happened. Joy, relief, deep gratitude, peace in your chest. Dive into this feeling until the point where you almost start to smile without realizing it. And then, with this feeling occupying your entire chest, let yourself fall asleep. Just that. Just that. Repeat this practice every night without fail for 21 days. Why 21? Because that is the average time the subconscious takes to rewrite an old pattern. It is the time for complete reprogramming. And in these 21 days, observe what happens in your daily life. You will begin to notice the signs. A name appearing here, a message appearing there, a dream becoming increasingly vivid, a casual encounter with someone who knows the other person. These are the planks of the bridge of incidents being laid down, one by one, Do not rush, do not force. Do not send desperate messages. Just keep feeling, keep occupying the state, keep persisting. Because the universe, which seemed deaf, is now responding with the faithfulness of one who never forgot you. But I know what might be going through your head right now. You're thinking, what if it doesn't work for me? What if I do it and nothing happens? Calm down. I'm going to explain why so many people feel this way. There are 3 traps that destroy more manifestations than anything else. And you need to know each one of them, because they are present in the lives of most people in the States who try to apply these laws. The first trap is impatience. A person starts the practice, does it for 3 days, and by the 3rd day is already checking WhatsApp obsessively, waiting for a message to arrive. That is not faith. That is desperation in disguise. And desperation is a way of feeling absence. Remember what I said before? Feeling is the secret. If you feel absence, you attract absence. That is why, after doing the practice at night, let go, forget it. Go to work, go take care of your children, go pay the grocery bill, go handle your life, and let the universe work behind the scenes. Trust is one of the highest forms of love. Trust in the Almighty. Trust in the process. Trust in yourself. The second trap is verbalized doubt. It is when a person practices at night, but during the day talks to their friend, their sister, and keeps complaining, "Oh, I'm trying, but it's not working. I don't think it's going to work out." Every word like that is a sledgehammer blow to the bridge you are building. Remember, inner dialogue is more powerful than any ritual. What you say about yourself, out loud or in silence, is what becomes reality. Therefore, from now on, change the dialogue. If someone asks you how you are, answer, "I am in a moment of restoration." If your mind starts to doubt, answer it, "I am what I have assumed to be, and the process is already underway." The third trap, and this one is the worst, is the attempt to control how the bridge of incidents will happen. The person keeps imagining the exact scenario, wanting to control the day, the time, the words, the place. And then, when life begins to offer paths different from what was expected, they reject them. They say, "No, that's not how I want it," and they close doors that the Almighty was opening. Here is the hard truth. Your function is to occupy the state of consciousness of fulfillment. The function of the Almighty, of the universe, of the fourth dimension, is to choose the path. And often the path goes through something that looks like a detour, an apparent fight that ends up opening a conversation, a silence that makes the other person rethink, a delay that prepares the ground. Trust, let go, persist. Now let me give you a real example right here from the States, so you can understand that this is not just some theory from the United Kingdom. I heard the story of a woman named Lucy from the countryside of upstate New York. She had a son who hadn't spoken to her in 7 years. 7 years. A nasty fight, harsh words, deep resentment. Her house had turned into a heavy silence. Christmas was a void. His birthday was a tightness in her chest that she hid from her neighbors. Until she heard about this law, this practice, and she started. But she didn't start easily. She started crying because the first week hurt. It hurt to face the longing head on. It hurt to imagine the reunion without any guarantee. But she persisted. 21 days. Then another 21. Almost 42 days every night, occupying the state of a restored mother. On the 43rd day, the phone rang. It was her son. He said a single sentence, "Mum, I dreamed of you yesterday. Can I come over on Sunday?" Lucy didn't cry at the moment. She just gave thanks in silence because within her, that reunion had already happened. She was already the restored mother even before the phone rang. That is the law of assumption in action. That is the power of I am. That is the result of daily persistence in the feeling. And most importantly, this works for love, for family, for finances, for physical healing, for any area of life where you want to change your state. But you must have patience. You must have faith. You must have the courage to continue when appearances scream the opposite. Because the fourth dimension does not respond to time, it responds to conviction. And conviction, my brother, my sister, is built in the silence of the early hours, when no one is watching, when only you and the Almighty know what is happening in your heart. Now I want to talk to you about an area that afflicts the majority of people in the States over the age of 35. Money. The bills arriving, the dues coming up, the grocery bill rising, the rent tightening. You wake up in the middle of the night with that weight in your chest thinking, how am I going to make it through this month? Look, I know what that is like. I have seen many good people in the States live suffocated in this cycle. And the cycle repeats because the dominant state of consciousness is one of scarcity. A person tries to cut expenses, tries to look for odd jobs, tries to sell something, and all of that is valid on the physical plane. But if on the emotional plane, on the plane of the heart, on the plane of the fourth dimension, they continue to feel poor, suffocated, with no way out, the universe continues to deliver exactly that, because it responds to feeling, always to feeling. Napoleon Hill wrote a book that changed the lives of millions, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And there he taught something simple and devastating. The subconscious is like fertile soil. It does not choose the seed. It only makes grow what you plant in it. If you plant fear, fear grows. If you plant certainty, certainty grows. And the subconscious works 24 hours a day, without stopping, without resting, without questioning. That is why what you feel before sleeping and what you feel as soon as you wake up, those two moments, define how your subconscious will work over the next 24 hours. Look at the magnitude of this revelation. You are literally programming your financial reality every single day, and you don't even realize it. If you sleep complaining about bills and wake up complaining about bills, you are planting scarcity in fertile soil. In 24 hours, the soil delivers scarcity. That is why I ask you, starting today, change your internal dialogue before sleep. Instead of thinking, how will I pay tomorrow, think I am provided for by the Almighty, and provision always arrives at the right time. Instead of thinking I am strapped for cash, think I live in the divine flow of abundance. Repeat this until the feeling adjusts, until you feel, even if just for an instant, the sensation of having enough. That instant is the seed, and the soil is fertile. It will grow. The same applies to healing. There are people watching this video right now with some health problem in the family, a sick mother, a father with some condition, a child going through something difficult, and I tell you, prayer works. But the prayer that works is not the prayer that asks with fear. It is the prayer that occupies the state of the answer. When Jesus prayed, he did not say, please, maybe, who knows? He said, Father, I thank you because you have already heard me. Already, in the present tense, as if the thing had already happened. This is the secret of the prayer that moves mountains. You do not ask for healing. You give thanks for being healed. You occupy the state of restored health, of the family reunited, of the provision poured out. And the universe, which is faithful, delivers. Perhaps not in the time you want, but in the right time. In the time of the Almighty. I know. It sounds too simple. Perhaps you are thinking, if it were just a matter of feeling, everyone would be happy. And the answer is, yes, they would. But most people do not feel enough. They do not persist enough. They do not believe enough. They start, they quit, they restart, they quit, they restart. And the bridge of incidents never gets completed, because with every time they quit, a plank is ripped away. Persistence, my brother, my sister, is the key that opens every door. It is not talent, it is not luck. It is not being born with a silver spoon. It is daily persistence in the feeling. It is returning to the practice every night, even on the days when life seems to be going wrong. Especially on the days when life seems to be going wrong. Because do you know when it is most important to maintain the state? Precisely when appearances scream the opposite. When the bill arrives, when that person doesn't call you, when the test results come back abnormal, that is when your faith is tested. And that is where those who manifest are separated from those who just talk about manifesting. Those who manifest hold on to the feeling even when their eyes see chaos. Those who just talk surrender to the first contrary wind and return to feeling the old pattern. That is why I implore you, if you are starting now or if you have tried and quit before, this time it will be different. This time you will persist. Because you know you did not come across this video by chance. Someone is interceding for you. Someone is praying for you. And the Almighty is giving you a new chance to turn things around, but the chance must be seized with both hands. Remember the title of this video? Someone from your past is still thinking of you. That someone can be a person, yes, but it can also be something greater. It can be a version of yourself from the past, a version that dreamed, that believed, that took risks, that had faith. That version is still thinking of you. It wants to come back. It knocks on the door of your consciousness every day asking to be heard. And what you are feeling now, this tightness, this chill, this tear that perhaps is wanting to fall, is them, it is you returning. It is your essence calling out to you. Do not ignore it. This is the greatest reunion that can happen in your life. The reunion with yourself, with your faith, with the certainty that you are a child of the Almighty and have every right to live an abundant life. I will tell you one last story before coming to the end of this video. It is the story of Richard, a man from Sao Paulo, 52 years old, separated for 9 years from his wife, with a son who barely spoke to him. Richard was an engineer, earned a good living, but lived in an empty apartment in Greenwich Village. Every night after his solitary dinner, he would sit on the balcony and look at the city lights. He told me that the silence was so heavy that he even doubted the Almighty. He said, "If the Almighty exists, why did he leave me here alone?" But one day, in the early hours of a Saturday morning, he watched a video similar to this one you are watching now, and something inside him clicked. He began to apply the technique of the state akin to sleep. Every night, he imagined himself reunited with his son, talking like friends, laughing at something silly, having a coffee together. He felt the feeling, occupied the state, and fell asleep. Without demanding, without checking, without making a drama. 28 days later, his son sent a message out of the blue. "Dad, can I come over so we can talk?" And that was the beginning of the restoration. It was not magic. It was not luck. It was the law of assumption operating exactly as it has always operated since the beginning of time. But there is more. Along with the restoration with his son came an unexpected promotion at work. There also came a new romantic relationship with a woman he met by chance at the local bakery. All at once. Why? Because when you change your dominant state of consciousness, you change your frequency. And your frequency attracts everything that vibrates on the same wavelength. Restoration attracts restoration. Abundance attracts abundance. Peace attracts peace. It is impossible for one thing to change and everything else to stay the same. When the heart reorganizes itself, life reorganizes along with it. That is why I ask you, with all the sincerity of my heart, do not leave this video the same way you entered it. Take the technique, apply it tonight, and commit to doing it for 21 days in a row, without fail. Even on tired days, even on the days when life has been hard, 5 minutes, 21 days, that is the investment. And the return can literally be an entirely new life. And to close, let me give you one more key, perhaps the most important one. The Bible, in Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7, says a phrase that seems simple but holds the entire secret. For as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Look at that, as he thinks in his heart, not as he thinks in his head, in the heart, and the thought of the heart is the feeling. It is the law of assumption condensed into a single sentence written thousands of years ago. That is why I tell you, the scriptures, science, mystical philosophy, quantum physics, all converge at the same point. You are what you feel you are, and you attract what you feel you are. Change the feeling, change the I am, change your life. This is the greatest revelation that exists, and it has been there waiting for centuries to be applied by those who have the courage to apply it. And now, before I give you the final word of this video, I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Just 3 seconds. Close your eyes and feel. Feel everything you have heard up to here. Feel the name of this person from your past within your chest. Feel the real possibility of the reunion. Feel the taste of the restoration. And then, within you, in silence, say, I am reunited. I am restored. I am loved. It is done. It is done. Decreed. When you open your eyes again, the bridge of incidents has already begun to be built. And if you felt even for a second that this message was delivered by the Almighty for you on this exact day, at this exact time, it is because it was. There is no coincidence here. You were led to these words with purpose, And what you do from now on will define the next chapter of your life and your family's life. That is why I prepared a powerful digital book for you. How to Know If the Almighty Will Save You on Judgment Day is waiting for you in the link pinned in the description of this video and at the top of the comments. Do not leave for tomorrow what the Almighty has placed in your hand today. When the call is clear, answering is obedience. Ignoring it is starting to feel that discomfort that does not go away, that tightness that will haunt you. Go there now. And come back here to the comments and write, "It is done, I accept the restoration." This decree is your seal. It will echo in your life for the next 21 days. I bless you. Persist in the feeling, persist in the I am, trust. The Almighty is acting now.